Hey, Ave citizens, welcome back. I've got a video today showing the Agema Roman Republican legionaries as well as the Victrix Roman Republican legionaries. So really I wanted to showcase the two different main available plastic kits with significant numbers of troops in them and compare and contrast them, and then sort of come up with some recommendation as to which I think is better. So if you've been watching some of my videos recently, you might have seen the one with the V&V Roman Command recently, and they do also the other main troop types, the Velites, the Hastati, Principes, Triarii. The only difference with them is that they are significantly more expensive than these guys. So if you're wanting to build a big army, a decent sized army, unless you're some sort of an oligarch, you probably haven't got the funds to build a big army out of them alone. They're certainly great as sort of extra character figures, but you're probably looking at one of these other two companies, Agema or Victrix, to provide the majority of your troops. So let's have a look at the Agema box first. You see it is a genuine box, which I much prefer to the plastic bags that Victrix come in, and it comes with two main sprues. Now I've pinched a few guys out of a few of them already, but let's have a look at this one first. So the little sprue is the Velite sprue, so it's just got the two guys on it, but because of the fact that they don't have either arm, there's quite a lot of different permutations as to how you can assemble them. They have the two helmeted heads and the one guy with the wolf cloak, and they have the cloak there to go with it. Nice shields, quite a bit bigger than the Velite shields that you'll see in the Victrix kit, interestingly, and quite nice active poses. You'll see the hand particularly here raised, throwing a spear, which you got there. So simple little sprue, but very nice, and you can make a hell of a lot of different poses for your Velites from those. Then you got the main sprue, so let's have a bit of a look at that one. So here it is, we're missing one guy on that sprue, but I've got the other one there. So the one guy missing was the kneeling Triarii figure. So let's stick with this one to start with. So you can see plenty of scutum, fantastic heads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I pinched one there, 6, 7, 8, 9 heads. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, so plenty of extra heads. Nice sheathed gladius there. You've got a few with gladius out. In fact, you've got enough for everyone to have a gladius, and similarly enough for everyone to have a spear. And the long ones designed for, particularly that one for the Triarii. So you've got the kneeling guy, which is quite cool. I'll show you him again down here. So the Triarii were obviously the final line in the Roman battle formations, and they were said to have often knelt at the back. Some say that was to prevent the earlier lines from breaking and fleeing, but they were generally held in reserve to go in when the chips were down. So going back to the same sprue again, so you'll see a mixture of different clothing. So this guy's got the Lorica Hamata, the chainmail. This guy's purely tunic, so he could obviously be used as another Velites if you wanted. Then you've got the one with the pectoral armor plate, and you'll see most of them have got just the left leg, the forward leg with the greaves there, and then this guy with the more interesting ornate sort of armor. I'll just show you the backs of each of those as well. So quite interesting poses and quite active, and the fact that you've got neither arm attached is always a bonus in my book, because it means you can pose them in lots of different ways. How about shield transfers? So there is quite a good range of shield transfers available for these guys. So this is the one lot that I've got, made by Battle Flag, but they do a whole lot of different designs and different colours for the shields, both for the scutums and for the rounder target shield for the Velites. I haven't got those ones as yet. So they're excellent figures. I really like them. I'm going to give you a demo of some of them in a minute. But I might go next to the unbagging of the Victrix set. So here we go, Victrix. 60 figures in this one as opposed to 56 in the Agema. And again, you get two different types of sprues. So you've got the main sprue. It's a big one here. Again, I've pinched a few figures off there already, so I'll just have to show you both sprues to get the full idea. So let's get all this up. So actually this sprue is a little bit more complete. Let's start with this one. So you can see 6 figures on there. The missing one on this one is this guy. So another one with a pectoral plate is what you get. So these are your regular rank and file, so they're Hastati, and certainly they could be used for the Principes as well. Plenty of scutums again. Lots of what do you call them? Not gladius. Pelum, sorry. Mental blank there. And again, heaps of nicely helmeted guys with nice plumes. You've got some very large spears again for the triarii at the back, and plenty of extra sidearms and some extra shields there for the velites. There should be 2 velites here. That's right. So there's actually 8 guys per big sprue. Yeah, I've taken them off as well, but yeah, there's definitely 8 per sprue. You got this nice unhelmeted head up here, perhaps for a general, or maybe just for one of the velites. So that's the main sprue, and then you also get a couple of command sprues. So again, I've nicked a few bits out of here, particularly this guy with the muscle cuirass, he would have been there. So you got him, you got this guy with a cool lion cloak there, and a couple of unarmored guys have velites here. Some more cloaks, nice heads, more shields, musician, and a whole lot of extra tops for the standards. So some pretty cool things. A sort of razorback piggy thing there. You got I think this is oh no, that's the classic Roman wolf with a suckling of Romulus and Remus, yeah, and then you've got a bull there. So some pretty cool features on that sprue. So that's one of the big differences. You don't get a dedicated command sprue with the Agema, and so you miss out on those extra interesting character sort of figures, and you don't get any musician. However, Agema do have a nice lot of metal figures that are made to match their plastics. So this is one of the command figures, metal guy, perfectly scaled to go with their plastics. I've got plastic here. So yeah, when they're side by side, you really can't tell who's metal and who's plastic. So they're excellent. So the biggest difference in their posing, as you might have noticed, is that the Agema are much more active, much more in battle, dynamic, attacking, thrusting, and so on. Other than the velites here, which from Victrix, which are similar pose, all the rest are very much stationary. They're all standing around, sort of waiting for battle on parade. So that's one of the biggest differences. If you're really looking for active and aggressive attacking figures, then you're probably better off with the Agema. I have done a little spreadsheet which I'll put up at the end that really compares and contrasts them and goes through most of the key kind of differences between them. But I will just next show you. Oh, and of course the other thing with the Victrix is they have a huge range of the little big man studio shield transfers. So there's a few that I've got there, but there's literally about 20 different designs you can get for those. The other shield transfers, which I've done a video on previously, that fit quite nicely for either set of the these Veni Vidi Vici ones, which are much more simple kind of transfers and allow you to paint underneath whatever colours you want. So they're quite a good option and a bit cheaper than those other ones as well. I'll show you a few sets I might have put these in other videos previously, but there's some nice Melites and a mixture. So the front, this guy is pure Agema. This guy is a body of Victrix with an Agema head. And behind him you got a pure Victrix guy in the green. Pure Agema, pure Agema, pure Agema. So mostly Agema there. I reckon they're great, and they do go quite well together. The Victrix maybe just a little bit more chunky, but not really appreciably different. And then we've got some Astarte next. So again, a bit of a mixture. So let's see if we've got any Puritan. So this guy is a pure Agema, and you can see the active pose, really holding the shield, throwing the Pelum. It's pretty cool, I reckon. And similarly with this guy. Then you got the much more passive pose of the Victrix, although he's got an Agema head on him. And then this guy is the opposite, so he's a Agema body with a Victrix head. Around to the back. And again we got 3 Victrix guys, and then the Agema fella with the more interesting armour there. Triarii next. Let's have a look at these guys. So the other thing, other than the metal command figures that Agema make, they also do some character Triarii and also some legionary guys throwing Pelums, very active. I haven't got them yet. I'm hoping to get them at some point. And I really like the kneeling Triarii. So this is kneeling Victrix. Actually, these other ones aren't. Sorry, kneeling Agema. The ones at the back are all Agema, so they're these 3 interesting characters, the metal ones, and then that's the plastic one that comes in this kit. So the spear's a little bit different scale, kind of pity they didn't make them exactly the same, but they still go together quite well. So plastic, metal. There we go for them. So in terms of price, they're almost identical. Agema 44p per figure versus Victrix 46p, so hardly any difference. And just out of interest, the difference is huge between them and the V&V miniatures. £3.39 British pounds per figure for a V&V, so that is about 7 times the cost of either of these figures. So they're beautiful, but you certainly pay for the difference. So I reckon it comes down to whether you prefer the more passive poses or more active poses. Personally, I prefer the more active poses, and I like the fact that that Agema support with a whole lot of other metal ones that are really made to complement this series. So for mine, I reckon Agema are slightly superior. The other thing, obviously, Victrix make a couple of kits. They have the Lorica Hamata guys as well. That is the chainmail ones. I've got just the pectoral ones because I think they're a bit more unique. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted the more of the Lorica Hamata, you can get them. The other thing, one more thing, is there is the Hannibal Veterans for Agema, which I've shown before, are made, and really they complement the other Agema figures very well, because 2 out of 3 of them have the Lorica Hamata, so they can be just as well used for Romans as they can for Carthaginians. And I think in fact the idea of them was that they were probably using stolen Roman equipment anyway. So if you want a few more poses, you can get the Hannibal's Veterans as well. Righto, I think I've crapped on enough about that. I'm going to put up a spreadsheet with all the various pros and cons of the 2 kits, and we'll go from there. And I'll be fascinated to hear other people's takes on which kit they prefer, particularly those who've got both. All right, catch you around.